What is going on, greatest audience of all time?
Well, if
the
they're
great ones.
If they're listening live, they're freezing. I'll tell you that.
If y'all notice, Phil's got a beanie on because it's 17 degrees outside. And, but when I, saying that out loud, I'm a very, self-admittedly, I'm a very, I can exaggerate, right?
Yeah.
Like, especially about stuff like that.
Oh,
Dude, it's
you're right.
literally 17 degrees outside.
This is not a joke.
When it's like 50.
Yeah.
But like right now it's actually 17.
It's literally 17.
It's literally
degrees outside.
17. What is it? February something? February
I mean, on the
15th? Let me check.
there's definitely driving over here. There was
2/5/21, February 15th, 2020. Damn, I just did y'all see that bounce? The Backyard Barbecue 2000. Can't take it when you set your phone down too hard.
get that replaced.
So tell me about driving over here, Phil. What was it like?
it wasn't too bad. We weren't.
It's like driving in Alaska.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know what they have in
Antarctica.
Alaska?
What's that?
Moose. Carry on, sorry.
Yeah. So you got plenty of food.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, we definitely just went nice and like 30, 40 miles an hour, the whole way over, which we live really close. So it's not too bad. But
Went to the gym. I went to the gym earlier, and yeah, we did about 30.
we worked out in the garage earlier.
So it was 18 degrees.
Awful. It was rough.
But, y'all were getting it done, man.
Yeah, we got it done.
And, look, that's kind of, I think that's not the title of this podcast, but it could be. And I think we're going to title this one "Do More Shit."
Okay.
And I think where we want to go with this and how those are connected is, I don't remember who I heard say this. I've heard this in several different contexts and people saying it different ways. But I think it's something that I have found to be very true because I've spent a lot of time focusing on things that I shouldn't be focused on that don't really matter at the end of the day, that waste my time.
Oh, it happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
Literally daily.
It still happens to me too.
Yeah.
Like I have a limit on my all my social media.
Man, you told me about that a while back, and I haven't done it yet.
Combined use for all my social media apps is an hour. So, and I think it resets at midnight. And what happens is my iPhone, they don't sponsor me yet, but they should because I have one and I also have headphones, which makes me professional. Is what it does is, okay, so at midnight, from midnight to midnight, it gives me 1 total hour. So if I spend 10 minutes on Facebook and 10 minutes on Snapchat and 10 minutes on Instagram,
Halfway there.
I'm halfway there. I'm halfway done for the day. And it'll tell me when I've reached that 1 hour limit and it'll block me. And of course you can go in and override it,
right.
Which I have done to like, if I was like, oh, hey, what was that one thing real quick? And you can do like, remind me in 1 minute. So you can go in real quick and do it. Or you can just turn it off altogether. But I would say 90+% of the time when I hit that limit, I just hit okay. I'm done for the day. I don't look at any more social media. And so back to the point is, we spend a lot of time worried about what everybody else is doing. And here I'm finally going to say it. Where it resonated with me the most is when somebody said it like this. And it might have been Andy Frisella, who doesn't sponsor me yet, but he should.
We actually reached out to him to be on the show.
He's probably going to be on the show.
Yeah.
So, and the saying is, if you have enough time to worry about everybody else's shit, then you're not doing enough shit. So like, if I have the time to sit on Instagram for 3 hours a day and look at what everybody else is doing, then I need to be doing more doing. Like I need to be out doing more stuff because apparently I have the time. And,
yeah, the not have time excuse really gets me. And, every time I think about it, that saying, dude, this coffee is awesome.
microphone right here, and I'm all like, forgetting that it's like magnified. People are like, ugh.
I don't know what kind of coffee this is, but it's great.
HEB brand, actually HEB Houston blend.
Ooh.
HEB doesn't sponsor me yet, but they should.
This coffee is amazing. I'm not going to lie. Just a little bit of almond milk to stevia.
Oh, you put 2 in there.
2.
Living
Yeah.
large. My goodness. Hold on.
Yep, got to do what you got to do,
2 stevia.
Keep that in mind. Make sure you jot that down.
Backyard Barbecue 2000. Don't want to write too hard.
A little almond milk and you're good to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember, because obviously people say that all the time. And we're in fitness, right? So, of course,
Phil trains people for a living.
the people always say, I don't have time to work out. I kind of do.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You kind of sponsor me.
Kinda do.
Phil sponsors me. Shout out OTG Fitness. But so what you're saying is
People all the time have this excuse, not have time. The major subject,
the go-to.
for not working out is not have time. You know.
Okay.
But I specifically remember a few years ago, I used to work with this guy who wanted to start working out, and so
he was like a beginner kind of.
yeah, never really worked out before. Wanted to lose some weight, wanted to start eating better. He's asking me for advice or stuff, and I think this is for sure before we had the gym, possibly even before I started, doing personal training. And he brought his friend one day to the gym, and we all worked out. And I was talking to his friend, and I'm not gonna say any names, but I remember the guy's name. I remember his face. And
Talk about him later.
he
Starting to think I don't like him.
He told me
he
told me he didn't have time. And when I asked him what he did,
so you were like, hey, maybe you should start doing this more often.
Yeah.
Like, let me train you or something along those lines.
not even let me train you, just like, hey, dude, work out because it's gonna make you feel better. And
Everything
he
else
was
will start to
always
follow,
complaining about not feeling good and feeling overweight and stuff like that.
Lethargic.
And this guy, literally, I was like, dude, well, I mean, what do you do for work? You must be super busy. He's like, oh, I work at Walmart. No offense to anybody that works at Walmart.
Well, no.
But
No, it's and
he worked a 40-hour.
Right.
That's what I'm saying is he worked a 40-hour a week job with no stress.
Right.
Nothing to it. And I'm not saying this is everyone's situation that says I don't have time. I'm sure a lot of people are strapped for time. That's fine. I understand. Me too.
Right.
So is everyone. But there's a way. But most people, when they say I don't have time, it's not that I don't have time. It's this is not actually a priority for me.
They haven't prioritized it.
And that's fine. But just say that.
Right.
Don't say you don't have time because you do.
I think, I've spent a lot of time in my life. I don't know that I've used the I don't have time excuse, probably because I've used a bunch of excuses. I've been somebody who makes excuses in the past. But now I look back on all of that, all the time that I spent in mediocre shape, and I can confidently say it's because I didn't prioritize my fitness and or my diet.
Right.
It wasn't a priority to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so if anybody tells me that they don't have the time to exercise, they don't. Okay, let me back up. They don't.
Is your name Elon? Because if it's not, I don't think that's legit.
He doesn't sponsor me yet, but he should. Elon, shout out to me from me. That's why you should sponsor me. But insert any goal that somebody has, right? That I've talked to anybody about. Get shredded, start a business, invest, save money, whatever your goal is. And anytime that you have an excuse or you make an excuse, what you're really saying is it's not a priority.
Right.
Because there are things that you do in your life, like in your day-to-day, like you get up, you go to work, you walk the dog, you make coffee, whatever it is that you're doing, you take out the trash. Those things, and those last two were kind of trivial, but the fact of the matter is you're doing things.
The point
right?
is, if it needs to be done, you'll find a way.
Prioritize it, right? Yeah. So if you're saying you don't have time to work out, but you and your significant other watch an hour of Netflix every night, then the Netflix is the priority.
That's right.
And whatever it is that you don't have time for is just not a priority. And that's okay, but just understand that that's what it is, and not that everybody has the same 24 hours, so list out all the things that you do and what's the priority? Of course, you got to go to work. You got to make sure your dogs are taken care of. You got to
Kids, if
you got kids, right? XYZ things that need to happen. And then there's the stuff on there. There's, the Netflix. There's the 3 hours on Instagram. There's the whatever. Like, watch your screen time on your phone, man. Like, you'll be surprised how much time you spend. And knock some of those things off and add new priorities to your priority list. I have a priority list that I actually I'd write it all down. And there's certain constants that stay on there, but there is stuff that I take in and out depending on what I'm trying to achieve. And you it's not like, you write it down, every day for the rest of my life, concrete set in stone, I got to do these things. But you have your baseline things that you need to do, and then you say, man, I didn't do this. Well, what did I do in its place? Well, I did watch Netflix or Hulu, or I did watch, the football game on Sunday, but I didn't get that 1 hour workout. So you watch 3 hour football game, but you didn't get your 1 hour workout that day. So I modify it as time goes on. So I just, back to the point, if you have time to worry about what everybody else is doing, then you need to do more shit. And if your excuse is that you don't have enough time, then what you're really saying is it's not a priority.
Yeah, this might sound a little harsh, but I honestly believe that a lot of people are in total denial about where their time goes.
Oh yeah,
complete denial.
And their money.
Oh, money too.
I've been that person. I've been that person both ways. I've been the person that
we talked about this last time with like whenever we started 75 Hard, getting a real big view of how much you spend eating out.
Right.
That's crazy. You know how people come to the gym and tell me they can't afford it? Like that happens, at least once or twice a week, probably more. But
and there are some that can't.
And legit, some people cannot. But once again, most people, my honest opinion, are in total denial about where their time and money go.
Yeah.
So, like on that note, it just popped in my head. Like there's definitely two things that I always try not to say. One is I don't have time, and one is I can't afford it.
Right.
That's not where I want to prioritize my time, and that's not where I want to allocate my budget.
Yeah. And something that I have switched into my vocabulary and I try to implement. I don't really use the term I can't afford it. I use the term I don't want to afford it.
Ooh, okay.
So people are like, oh well, this or that thing, you should get it, or it's great. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to buy that. Like, I don't want to afford that. So I don't have a whole shit ton of money, but even if I did, I wouldn't want to buy that thing. And I don't have a whole lot of extra time, but even if I did, I wouldn't want to allocate it.
Towards these certain things. And we've definitely fell into the, Nicole and I have fell into, I think we talked about this last time, but watching Netflix for a lot longer than you plan on it. And I will admit that during that time, maybe it's like a month or two even, maybe longer sometimes, we fall into this hole. You're in denial during that time.
I've been in denial.
Now that I look back, I was in total denial with myself, not with anyone else. Nobody else knows. Like people tell us people all the time because a lot of times I'm talking to clients at the gym and they're like, oh, you shouldn't, stay up so late, or you're working too much or whatever. I do whatever I want every day. Being when you're self-employed and you don't really have a boss telling you what to do. Why does he keep doing that? So yeah, I pretty much do whatever I want all day. So if I have to stay up super late or wake up super early to get something done because it didn't get done, that's on me. Totally my fault, because I wanted to do something else during the middle of the day. I went for a drive in my car, or
allocated more time to something that took priority at that time.
Yeah,
now it's 11 and you haven't got your workout in.
Yeah, I watched a
documentary.
A documentary on YouTube or
somebody killing people.
Something. Yeah, it's totally my fault when that happens. And I think that being honest with yourself about those things are super important, because as soon as, and it also, as when you're talking to somebody else, it becomes really easy to make somebody else think that you're so busy and you have so much going on. Now you look cool or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's definitely a thing that unfortunately a lot of people do, but
it's easy to make an excuse too, period. Like, hey man, did you get your workout in, or what you been up to? Oh man, I've just been so busy. And then
busy with what?
You're thinking back in your head and you're like, yeah, well, I did watch 2 hours of Netflix and went driving around.
And
played on my phone for an hour and a half.
As soon as you deny, like in your head, and you justify that, if you justify it, dude, you're going down such a deep rabbit hole for the next tomorrow is going to only be worse.
No accountability.
And the next
yourself.
day, it's going to be worse and worse and worse. Until 5 years later, you're just now realizing that for the past 5 years, you haven't done anything.
Bullshit.
So I think it's really important to
I spent a lot of years not doing things.
Face yourself whenever those thoughts come into your head.
I take a good, long, hard look in the mirror.
Yeah.
And talk about at least the broad brush strokes. Where's my time gone? Where's my money gone? Where does it go? And I think a very simple way to do this, especially with your time and your money, is write it down. I didn't especially with my time and money. I wrote down a lot of things when I was trying to change the trajectory of my life. Write down where your time's going.
I've never actually done that, but I've read about it. You know who Craig Ballantyne is, right?
No.
Craig Ballantyne. He has a podcast, and he's a real he's like a business coach, self-development guy. And he talks about he has a name for it that I don't remember what he calls it, but it's basically a time journal.
Yeah.
Writing down what you're doing, because he has a technique that he calls finding your magic time. Sounds kind of corny, but basically your magic time is the 1 to 3 hours that you have every day where you work the best. For some people, it's at night. Some people, it's really early in the morning. Whatever your magic time is, he says that it's really important to find it. And by keeping a time journal is how you're going to find this magic time.
Yeah.
I've never actually done it. And I read that probably 6 months ago or maybe even longer. Yeah. And I told myself I was going to do it, and I haven't done it yet. So now that we're having this conversation, I think I might try it.
It's not something that, like, I don't even think anybody knows that I did that except for me. And it was just something where, like, I don't know, maybe I'm throwing shots in the dark here. Probably for a week or two. And also what I did was I remembered back to certain days, like, wait, what did I do on Thursday? Okay, it worked. And then I spent X amount of time. I went to the gym, and then I went out that night and I had some drinks. And I was out till 1, and then, I came home, and I just kind of started to log it, and you could kind of start pulling the stuff out of there that's eating you up. And it's the same thing with your budget too. Write down what you're spending your money on.
Dude, budgeting is huge. Yeah. Step one to self-development, self-improvement.
Where's your money going?
After you exercise.
Right.
Well,
they could be fitness.
They really should be at the same time. If I'm going to be totally honest, like we talk a lot about how exercise is the foundation.
I always balance my checkbook while I'm in the squat rack.
Well, that's
actually do that.
Keeping a budget.
Absolutely.
I don't do it anymore. Self-admitted. Yeah. It's probably been definitely over a year since I really kept a strict budget.
I'm gonna get real, I guess, honest here. There was a point in my time. I guess that's not good work. Point in my life where I'd been at the same job for several years, and I honestly couldn't tell you. I had ideas, but I couldn't tell you exactly how much money I was bringing home every month, exactly how much my bills were. And, your utilities do vary.
You could or couldn't?
I couldn't.
Okay.
And exactly how much I was spending on frivolous things like either going out or new shoes or new clothes. And I couldn't have told you where, I didn't have any kind of budget. I was like, well, I know I make about this much per week. So you multiply it by 4, and then, I do know my rent is this much, and dude, you got to get on your bank statement on your phone or wherever and look at all little subscriptions, all little things that you spend that you don't realize. You buy 2 Monsters a day, that's $5 a day, which, 5 times 7, that's $35 a week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like little
and
stuff
there's-
like that added up on me.
There's multiple ways to do it. Whenever I was in college, and like I said, self-admittedly, I haven't kept a budget in some time. I'm kind of at a point now where I don't know exactly how much I spend. I do review our books, our profit and loss statements and stuff at the end of the months. So I look back, but it's really important to look forward. And I don't want to get off topic, but I used to use an app called YNAB, YNAB. It's an acronym. You need a budget. It's like $5 a month, so you do have to pay for it. But super valuable. You can lay out all your different categories. Before I used YNAB, I did it by hand.
Yeah,
I remember there's like checkbook apps that you can connect to your debit card. There's like Mint, right?
I've
Stuff
heard of
like that. But a lot of times to get started, the best way is good old pen and paper.
Yeah, that's what I
because then you have to actually work at it a little bit.
That's what I did and still do. And it's not as tight, right? I do, I don't write down every little thing still, but I do track it, right? It's all tracked. And, man, just look, same thing with your time. There's 3 things: your time, your money, and your calories. And I know
They're
some
all
people,
budget.
well,
I don't know
yeah,
if that's what you're saying, but-
Yeah, well, essentially is what I'm saying. They're all. I think step number 1 to very easy way to get yourself on track with these 3 things is just to know what's coming in and going out. And once you know where you're actually at, you can assess, set the goal, make the
And make decisions to get better.
decisions based on that.
Right.
Because most people, and I'm guilty, and I know this. That's why I say most people, because I was this person, have no idea how many calories they're eating it and spending every day, know how much money they're making and spending every day, and know how much time that they're wasting on random stuff, Instagram or YouTube or Netflix or whatever.
Yeah, they're all definitely the same. And I think with
Yeah.
each of these,
I had to learn this the hard way.
it's not something that you have to do
It's
forever.
a lot of time, money, and mediocre shape.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people don't start on it because they're like, oh, that's hard or it takes a lot of time. This is not something you have to do forever. You don't have to track your calories forever. You don't have to track your money forever. Just like I'm at a point now where I don't. But you can always, once you do it, it's easy to go back to it. Maybe do it for a month.
Right.
And then, just kind of check yourself.
Set a baseline and then just check in, once a week. Hey, where's it going?
Yeah,
What do I
it's
got
about
going on
doing
here?
it that first time, and then it becomes such a habit. It becomes normal and easy. Same with exercise. Like for your first couple of months, it's going to be really beneficial to lay out a real strategic plan of action. This is exactly what I'm going to do
on these days.
But after a couple of months, you don't necessarily need that anymore. You can just kind of more free will it.
Yeah, I can rattle off, and I never thought, especially in the beginning, I can rattle off, I know basic caloric breakdowns of certain foods and certain servings that I eat, just based off repetition. Like, if I have 2 serves of beef, it's this, this, and this. If I have, a serve of cooked rice, it's this, this, and this. And I can kind of throw it all together, right? I can kind of ballpark, what I'm eating. Just one example, right? I got good at it with time because I know that I want to keep my calories under this or in this range, whatever I was trying to achieve at the time, which has changed over the past year or so, 2 years. As long as I keep in this range, I'll accomplish what I want to accomplish, and I got good at it. But the next point is people say, "Oh, it's too hard." This is your life's an emergency, man. Plain
At
and
all
simple.
times, every single day.
Every day
I
is,
agree with that.
Your life is an emergency.
I've never heard that term before. It's said like that, but I've heard
Your life's
similar.
an emergency, man. Treat it like an emergency and not say, just run around, hurry up and sprint and grab a pen out of the drawer. But start getting your ducks in a row, man, while, the time's not stopping.
Yeah.
You're not getting younger. Your goals aren't going to achieve themselves, This is an emergency. Your life is an emergency. That's when I woke up when I heard that quote. And I don't even know if I heard that quote or if somebody said something like that quote, but that's how my brain saw it. And maybe it was Milet. Maybe it was Ed Milet. Give him credit just in case, who also doesn't sponsor me, but he should. Milet said, your life's an emergency. So get your ducks in a row, man. Figure out what's important to you and treat it like an emergency. Not, oh, one day I'll get around to it.
Right.
Emergency, man.
Yeah,
Get it
I learned
done.
that in my last job. You know, like when you work for a small business, it's a lot different than working for a big business.
Oh yeah.
When you work for a small business, everything that you do counts and matters.
It matters.
In a larger corporation, and nothing against people that work in large corporations, but a lot of times you can be lazy for weeks on end and nobody will notice because
Right.
people pick up your slack, whoever's on second shift. But when you work in a small business, it's all you gotta.
Yeah. All eyes are on you.
Yep,
Man.
that's right. Everybody sees. And I remember at my old job, people would always get upset at my boss for wanting things quickly. And everybody would be mad. Like, that's impossible. How do you expect me to do it how do you expect me to figure this out by tomorrow or order this part and have it here by tomorrow? And he's like, you got to figure it out. I need to know or we will fail.
It's an emergency. Your life's an emergency.
And when I still think about that all the time, and I've never thought about it like that, but it's the same thing. Yeah.
That's how I live, man. So I think this can be broken down, and this will be my third person I quoted here, but these are three things that I ask myself every single day. I don't ask them out loud. I don't just like talk to myself in the mirror, but I think all this can be asking yourself these three questions can get you on the right track. First question is, who are you? Who are you right now? Say, who am I? I am Daryl, and I do this for a living, and I live here, and I have these things, whatever. Who do you want to become? So where are you now? Who do you want to be? What do you want to become? Mm-hmm. Where do you see yourself in 5, 10, 15, 20 years? And the third question is, so lay that out. Third question is, what are you doing about it? What are you doing about it right now? Not what do you plan on doing about it in a few weeks and, one day I'll get around to that. What are you doing about it right now? And even if I'm talking the smallest steps, dude. If you say that you are Philip and you want to become Mr. Olympia, and right now, and let's back up. You're Philip and you weigh 300 pounds and you want to become Mr. Olympia. What are you doing about it right now? You're walking around the block 3 times a week. That's where you started.
Counting it.
You're doing something about it right now. If your name is Joe and you got no money in the bank, and you want to be Joe with $20,000 in the savings account, what are you doing about it? Are you saving $10 a week? Mm-hmm. Are you saving $5 a paycheck?
Well, I think I have a really bad habit of thinking that thinking that it's not enough. I don't know if that's good or bad.
Well,
I think it has its ups and its downs. It's all about interpretation, right?
But it's all about your perspective, and it's all relative to the individual. But just as long as you're not stagnant, man, don't be stagnant. Who are you? Who do you want to become? And what are you doing about it right now? Do something. Your life's an emergency. Your life's an emergency, man.
I think that
plain and simple. You only get one shot, and you're not getting any younger. And every second that goes by, you're getting closer to the day that you die.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm not doing something, I feel like I am stagnant all the time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if you're stuck in a rut, who are you? Who do you want to become? What are you doing about it? If you got enough time to worry about everybody else's shit, then you're not doing enough shit. You need to do more shit. Stuff. Sorry. Excuse my language here. Do more stuff.
I think it's fine.
Things and stuff. So yeah, man, I think that we can end the episode on that.
Yeah,
right
I
there.
mean, really, a lot of the stuff that we talked about was a bunch of garbage compared to those last 30 seconds.
well, yeah, we just started doing more shit.
Yeah,
but no, and I think same thing with all the episodes that we've been doing. This is something that I struggled with for years. Spent a lot of time doing stuff that I shouldn't have been doing, worried about things that weren't important, that were not, they weren't, they didn't help me achieve, they didn't help me move towards anything I wanted to move towards, they didn't get me, move the needle closer, get me closer
productivity.
to my goals. Yeah. They weren't productive to what I wanted to achieve.
Mm.
And what everybody wants to achieve is a little bit different, man, and that's okay. But yeah, If you have enough time to worry about what everybody else is doing, do more stuff. Who are you? Who do you want to become? And what are you doing about it? That's it.